Hello and welcome to Have a Chat. It's so nice to see all you viewers tuned in. We're at our beautiful Rogers station here in Miramichi. I'm your host for today's show, Judy Loge, joined by my always amazing co-host, Veronique Arsenault.
So glad to be back on a Monday with you.
In our 9th year, rolling right along.
Hard to believe.
I know, but it is November.
It is.
And you are going to start off the show today with a quote, as we always do.
And it's by Buddha.
Okay.
Yeah. So thousands of candles can be lighted from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared.
That's beautiful, and I've not heard it.
Me either, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I do believe that just keep passing the light, passing the light. I try to shed light on people's lives as much as I can, even if I'm having a time myself with being overburdened or in a place where, I could use some time alone or solace. I still try to lift up others as you do, Veronique, and we keep that fire going, no matter how tired we are, right?
Yeah. Well, it comes back around to you too, right? So, but it's true though. I often try and share all the good stuff that's going on in my life because I want other people to feel some good stuff too, right?
That's right.
And my happiness, like it said, doesn't get any smaller just because you and I got to share a happy moment together.
That's right.
Right? Or vice versa.
Yeah.
And so it's I think the kinder we are, especially with the season now, we're about to head into that really, really hectic, busy season. And we just need to be kind.
I love it. Be kind.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying those two words a lot lately. Be kind.
Absolutely.
And it's also November.
It is.
And even though we're well into, soon be into December, but we're well into November.
Yeah.
Again, for those who aren't wondering why men are wearing the mustaches, it's in honor of. I think it's all over Canada, and I think it may have started in Ontario, but everybody's into it, and it's to recognize men's health issues and bring awareness to such things as prostate, testicular cancer, and men's suicide.
Yeah,
and I'm really proud when I see young men and middle-aged men and older men sporting a mustache to advocate for those causes.
Yeah, and you always, I love it because some workplaces get really creative and they do shapes or they do different, and you always see like some people can grow like really thick mustaches really quickly and some people can't. So you've got like the little fuzz or you've got the big mustache. So I think it's fantastic.
And it's bringing men together.
That's right.
A solidarity.
Absolutely.
I love it. Veronique, we have a lot of things coming up as we always do, but there are some fun and exciting events, not just the ones that you feel obligated to go to, certain things that might be like not so much fun, but there is the Women of Influence evening coming up that you and I and some other women are going to be going to, and it's coming up at the Miramichi Golf and Country Club, and thank you for asking me to join your table, and I'm looking forward to being with women and also celebrating women in our community for what they have accomplished.
Well, and I love that night. I haven't been actually to the last couple, but really excited to be going back again. But you and I both have been in the past. You were the very first Women of Influence recipient.
2012.
It seems like yesterday now.
It seems forever ago to me.
Yeah.
And you were what year, Veronique?
2016.
2016.
Yeah.
So not long after. And I'm considerably older than you. So it's a very beautiful feeling to know that we've received that in the way that obviously people out there think that we have inspired and influenced whoever in some positive way.
Yeah, it was such an honor, and to be honest with you, it came at a really tough time in my life. I was struggling very badly with mental health challenges at the time. My business was struggling. I had the restaurant at the time. Actually, I had just closed the restaurant. And really felt like I was buried under a mountain of unhappiness. So we talked a little bit about happiness earlier, and I actually pinpoint that night when I received that award as a turning point for me.
Okay.
And it was so wonderful. I was surrounded by all of my friends and family, and I looked out on this incredible sea of women who made such a difference in the community. In their day to day, and it really did. I do honestly credit that with a turning point in my life where I started to find a bit of joy again, started to find a bit of hope again. It had been a really long journey at that point, a really tough journey at that point, and that was such a to feel recognized and seen was such a special thing for me.
Celebrate it.
Yeah.
For all the good that you've
Yeah.
done and all the good that you continue to do.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So on that note, I just have a question, and I'll answer it myself if I can think of an appropriate answer. But how do you feel, or give me an example of somebody or people that you feel you have inspired, and how do you do that?
Yeah, it's a tough question for sure. I think for me, I try to be me. You know, like, so I got elected to council a couple of years ago, and I'm not I guess a typical politician, will say, in that, you know, I'm very out there. I'm very friendly. I'm very, you know, I'm fluffy at times, you know. I'm
Warm.
I'm more. I try to be as me can be.
Dr. Seuss.
I know. I was just thinking of Dr. Seuss. But I've also tried to share some of those tough things that are going on in my life, so that people can say, you know what, I can relate to her. You know, and if she can get through it, or if she can do that, then so can I.
Exactly.
You know, I'm just kind of that everyday kind of Miramichier that tries to be me every day.
That's wonderful. That's beautiful answer, actually. And for me, we all have our days where we're, you know, organized and we're feeling on top of the world. Then we have the days where we're actually drained. But then I've come to grips with the fact that there are so many people struggling much more than I ever would, even on my worst day.
Yep.
So, for example, there was a girl the other day, I should say a young woman, mid maybe 30s, I would say, and she. I had posted something about feeling good about yourself and loving your inner self and being who you are. And she said, I wish I could find something to love about myself. She messaged me privately.
Yeah.
I knew, she said, I'm struggling to even find a reason why I'm here most days.
Oh,
and I thought, wow. So I just dropped everything I was doing, which was pressing. I had a lot of commitments.
Yeah.
And I reached out to her because I thought, that one person, if I can inspire her to see what I see in her, which is amazing, she has so many wonderful qualities, then that may be the one thing I've done even all year that turned her around to feeling better about herself.
Absolutely.
So I guess for me, it's putting things aside that are, I guess, important in my mind, lifting someone's spirits and bringing them out of a darker place, even if it's not to the best place, a better place.
Absolutely, and that's so critical, and we forget sometimes that just taking a moment or two or 20, whatever it is, makes such a difference.
Yes.
And that is absolutely a gift you have, that you always connect with people, no matter what's going on in your world, and that is a gift that you continue to share with people, and people we're very lucky.
And I think it's key to say what you mean and mean what you say.
Absolutely.
Don't just say I'll be there if you need me and don't follow up. Like,
Yeah.
if like there was this other girl just last week, I said, how are you? And she said, I'm struggling so unbearably, having lost my mother. She was my everything. And I knew she needed to talk. So I thought, well, I'm going to, I followed up with that. Like I said, I'm going to reach out to you. And I did.
Yeah.
Because you just don't say, oh yeah, I'm here for you, and then not be.
No, and that's, it's become the thing to say, right?
Yeah.
Because it's easy. I mean, it's easy to say, and I truly do believe that people mean it in that moment when they say it. But it's harder sometimes when you're having your own tough day.
Exactly.
Right? But it just makes such a difference. And yeah, that is your gift for sure.
Yeah, and you have gifts too, obviously. So let's talk about the other event that's coming up in the near future, December 2nd.
Yeah.
It's also a very important topic, and that is that of breast cancer.
Yeah.
And breast cancer awareness and advocating for breast cancer. So this Pink Dress Society, Paint the Town Pink, or Brush the Town Pink, began in Ontario.
Okay.
And locally, Angelia Morrison thought, why not do that here? And not just do it here, but all of the money raised that day would go back into supporting breast cancer programs in our very own area.
Amazing.
Which to me is really important.
Amazing.
Don't send it out there. We have enough people in our community that are going through or having been through or may go through breast cancer to keep the funds here.
Absolutely, and I mean it's such an urgent cause for women, right? We all should be doing our self-exams and going for our mammograms and things like that, because we all know someone who has been affected right?
Yeah.
Who has been diagnosed with breast cancer. And you're going to be the MC that evening.
I am. I'm going to MC that event, and it's going to be not just a fundraiser for breast cancer, which is the key reason why we're all gathering at Tyrus Community Center on December 2nd, but it's also to bring in an amazing keynote speaker, Paula Morand. And like, listen to this, Veronique. So Paula Morand is one lady that's with over 34 years of experience.
That's incredible.
28,000 clients.
Wow.
Yeah. 28 countries she's reached, 19 books. And she's a former radio personality, 14 times award-winning entrepreneur, and a humorous lady who will be there to inspire and empower us as the audience.
I can't wait.
And there will be light finger foods, and there will be prizes, and there will be surprise elements to the night. And as far as dress goes, it's of course Pink Dress Society, but not everybody looks good in pink.
Nope.
And not everybody wants to go out and buy a dress just for an evening, whether it be an average price or an expensive dress. They want to look nice. So it's not a mandatory thing. But I would suggest for anyone that does want to go, and the tickets are branded at the Boulevard, LA Jeweler, and Blush Beauty Bar in Chatham. So there's 3 places to get your tickets, and get them soon, ladies. Pink. So you can wear black with a pop of pink.
Yes.
So
which is what I'm doing.
Are you?
I am.
Nice.
Because I got the most incredible shoes. And by accident, they happen to have pink heels. So they're black and white with pink heels and pink straps on them.
Beautiful.
So I'm going to be wearing a black dress with the pink.
I love it.
And pink jewelry.
And anyone else that's struggling, you could do pink jewelry, pink scarf, pink clutch.
Absolutely.
A pink touch to your shoe as you have or whatever, or a pink bow in your hair, just something.
Yeah.
And a lot of people might just even not go for black and go with winter white and pink accessories or something like that. So it's going to be fun.
Can't wait.
And again, there's going to be some surprises. So pick up those tickets now.
Well, and when we talked about I talked about the fact that just every one of us knows someone who is a survivor.
My family. I have members of my family that are breast cancer survivors.
Exactly, and it's critical. It's critical that we support, and that we celebrate, and that we honor.
And bring awareness to breast cancer.
Absolutely.
It could be anyone tomorrow diagnosed.
I know.
So we have some events coming up for our viewers that are watching us locally, and you're going to want to talk about the market. Yeah,
and I say this all the time. I don't understand how people are bored in the area, because there is really, truly something for everyone. So Friday, December 1st is the Santa Claus Parade of Lights through Miramichi East or Chatham, the historic Chatham Business District. And I think they've been doing it for, 35 years maybe, or
you've emceed that for a long time.
I am emceeing it again this year.
And you bring what they need, because there's so many children around with their families, you bring that positive, fun element to it all. It's not just boring emceeing.
It's incredible,
it's lifting.
I love it every year. But then on Sunday, December 3rd, is the Christmas market at the exhibition.
It's a beautiful one.
Incredible, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and it's hosted by Eileen Clancy Teslenko. And so it's free entry. Tickets are sold for $2 each for a chance to win a basket of crafts, right? And there's local vendors, preserves, homemade crafts, sweets and treats, baked goods. Those are my favorite.
I know.
That's why I'm going.
Yeah.
And so much fun.
Oh my gosh. And I do need some gifts. So there's the perfect
too.
chance people to pick up something unique and support local.
Local.
Right?
Yeah.
I try as much as possible to support local.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
So important.
Especially when they're I love handmade gifts, right? And we're a family, and I know that you're much the same, Judy, that we mom and dad have everything that they could ever need.
I do
right?
too. I don't
want
anything.
I don't, but that one special handmade gift that you picked out is so special.
There's somebody you're going to find it for.
Absolutely.
There's going to be, that's the gift. Perfect for so-and-so.
Exactly.
Even if it's just the one.
Exactly.
Now, the 25th Christmas to Remember in memory of Jerry Cormier will be taking place also on Sunday, December 10th at 2 p.m. St. Mary's Church, which is 360 Newcastle Boulevard, and it's featuring so many different musicians. So there's the Max Aitken Choir, the King Street Choir, Miramichi Fiddlers, the Villagers, Audrey McLaughlin, Donna and Tyrone Hubbard, Elizabeth Stratford, Shatford. Do you know her?
I don't.
I don't either, so that would be something to look
Can't
forward
wait.
to. Somebody new.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Shatford.
Yeah.
Don Patterson.
Yes.
Brent Munn, who I don't know. David Bunnell, of course. Susan Butler and Friends with Heart.
Incredible.
Admission is free will offering, so donations can be made in advance in memory of a loved one, which is lovely. And you can e-transfer to Susan Butler at Explore, just not EX, but Susan Butler at explornet.com, or call Susan at 506-622-1780. And names will be printed on the program, and all proceeds go to Jerry's favorite charities, the Youth House, Women's Transition House, and St. Mary's Christmas Hamper.
And I know Susan has a target, a goal of $6,000 raised, and she's on her way.
Oh my.
Yeah, people have been donating and buying tickets and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, Susan is a force to be reckoned with.
She is.
She gives back to the community like, no other. And
she never stops.
And yeah, so it's incredible that she's still continuing this tradition
Beautiful.
and honoring Jerry at the same time.
And speaking of Susan, just a shout out to Susan. It's 5 weeks today since we opened our hospice, Percy's Place.
Oh, yeah.
5 weeks, and it's going beautifully, and families are very happy, and loved ones are feeling nurtured and cared for the way they should.
I've heard that.
But she brought over for the staff a beautiful cake and fudge and presented
I
to
love
them.
her fudge.
No, I know, but when the nurses are there all day, and they want their little bit of tea in their staff room.
Absolutely.
Then how nice is that for a gesture?
Beautiful.
And just before we go to break, do you have a special memory of Jerry Cormier?
I do. Jerry he was always so positive to be around, and I loved seeing him, and he'd always give the big hug, and I'd see him at breakfast, with his wife and his friends, and he always said hello, and he always connected with people, and that was what I remembered most about him.
I just remember how always jovial he was.
Yeah.
People have their days. Well, every days were cranky. It doesn't matter. You fall out the wrong side of the bed sometime. But I've never seen that side of him.
Yeah.
And I'm sure as former mayor that he had to have those hard conversations and very serious, meetings where he was drained and maybe a little bit cranky like the rest of us would be. But on a general day-to-day, he was the kindest, sweetest man, and I'm going to miss him very, very much.
Yeah, it's hard to believe he's been gone. He's been gone a number of years now. I think it was 2016 maybe when he passed.
I miss him though every day.
Yeah,
so I'm going to always miss him.
Yeah, he was a lovely man.
So we have to go to break, and please do come back and join us for a very interesting segment with a first-time guest. Grab a little coffee or tea and join Veronique and I shortly. Thank you. Hello and welcome back. Thank you for tuning in to Have a Chat again. I'm your show for I'm your show, yeah.
You are.
I am your host for today's show, joined by my wonderful co-host Veronique Arsenault.
We've all done it, Judy.
Yeah, I don't want to be the show today. I want everyone to be on the show.
Yeah, you are the show always, though.
Not at all. This is a duo.
That's right.
And we're very pleased to have with us today Lydia Love. And she is here as a first-time guest, as I said before we came back from break. And she's going to be talking about everything that she does. And it's from Lydia with Love Atelier.
So far, everything I've seen is amazing, so I can't wait to hear more about it.
I do have the pleasure of knowing Lydia, like not really personally, but I've known your family for years and you. So tell the viewers who don't know you a little bit about yourself personally.
I grew up here, right in Newcastle. I went to Miramichi Valley High School, and right after that, I went to go into my Bachelor of Applied Arts program, which was 2 years at UMB.
Yes.
And the rest at New Brunswick College of Craft and Design.
Okay.
And that's where I took my Foundation of Visual Arts and the Fashion Design Diploma, and even an additional year with Advanced Studio Practice.
Beautiful.
Oh, wow.
And you're an only child like Veronique?
Yes, that's the way to go.
Yes.
Not that we had anything to do with it, but yes, I enjoy it myself.
That's great.
That's incredible. You've studied so much, right, to apply your craft. But talk to us about how old were you when you began really starting to explore your creative side?
Well, like I told you guys earlier, I always had the crayons in my hand. I was always drawing something. The second I learned how to print my name, it was all over everything. And for fashion specifically, I was always in my mom's or my grandmother's closet. I was always playing dress up. And we would watch City Line every single Friday.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
And I would be drawing my own sketches at the same time.
Wow.
But it was a really young age, and I was always determined, like, I want to be a fashion designer. And I had to live that
Dream.
through.
And that's, I heard Matthew Perry, the late Matthew Perry, say, if you have that creative dream, do it, go for it. He just, you know, if it's that urge, run with it. So let's go back to your early days. Well, you're still such a young girl, but your earlier days in designing clothing. So was it all that you thought it would be when you set out to do that? Because you certainly took a lot in that area of studies. So tell us about it.
Well, there was definitely a big learning curve. I can't say I loved it right off the bat. I can be kind of stubborn. So it was difficult. It really was. And I've always been really hard on myself and really detail focused. So you can imagine, like,
Perfectionism.
yeah, it's not always a gift, but I mean, it is a good quality of someone that's aspiring to be a master tailor and in fashion design. But now, after I completed my first collection, I was burnt out
Your first collection.
for a long time, for a couple years. I stepped away after that.
It was exhausting.
Yes.
There's so much to the program, and then so much that they teach you that you have to do, as in like creations that you have to present and be. Do they have to score you on a product and say this is that, or it needs more detail, or how does that work? Like in college, you get an A, B, C, or D, university. But what about your school? Like, how does it work?
Well, there was grading as well.
Yes.
And, like, you know, as we worked up to the collection, at the end of the year, we had research and design a collection. That was a course. And then fashion illustration was a course. And then, of course, there was, you know, before my second year, there was, like, the basic sewing. And then, like, just gradually building up from there into tailoring and...
That was a lot to it. Yes. I don't know much about that.
No, and I don't
intense
either.
program.
And all I can do is sew on a button.
Well, I can do
That's
that too.
better than most.
Yes.
That's what I can do. I can sew on a button.
That's good, Veronique.
But Judy is wearing a beautiful bolero that you designed.
It's my own. I bought it.
Yes, and you purchased that a couple of years ago.
Yeah, a few.
And you also have a couple of your own creations, including the jacket that you're wearing today. Talk to us about what inspired these pieces.
Just in general, I'm really inspired by the fabric itself. So if I see the fabric, like, that's kind of what gets the wheels turning, and like, oh, I want to make something, like for this piece, for example.
It's so soft.
It's gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful.
I have refrained from petting it, but because he is,
No,
I keep
please
saying
do.
he, but it's so soft.
It is. It's a really good piece to wear
Cozy.
when you want all the hugs.
Right.
It
So
really
pretty.
I
But
want
the
draws
blue.
people to you.
I want the hugs.
We're in a theme, not planned, but we have
No.
the theme of blue going on today. We're in a sea of it.
Yes.
But
I swear I have made things other than the color blue.
Yeah, I know you have.
But most of them are.
But this I should know, is linen.
That is not linen, no, that.
It
I
feels like
actually
linen.
found that in the drapery
gorgeous.
department.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
And I can't turn around for the viewers, but the back is a complete slit in the back. I don't know if I can get a little view. Yeah, it's like an open upper back, so I could wear a strapless dress like Veronique said, or something else, but I'm in love with it. I'm a sleeve person, and it has, of course, the world, like the atlas all over it.
I love
You
it.
are the show. You really are.
Well, with this top I could be, right?
Yeah.
No, it's amazing.
Well, and it fits you to perfection. Like and you could wear it. You know, you're wearing all black today,
Yep.
but you could wear it really with
Jeans
anything.
or anything. Little tank
Absolutely.
top,
Yeah,
whatever.
Well, and I do love a sleeve as well.
I do love
Yeah.
a sleeve as well. It fits me, and again, kudos to your tailoring. You know, the job you made with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
And your
you.
own. How long would it take you for something like that? Veronique and I were talking about the things you brought.
You know?
Oh, man.
A jacket.
It would, it takes weeks.
Really?
Yeah, because there's a whole process, you know, getting the measurements and then, you have to make a mock-up first, because you don't want to utilize the fabric in the beginning and then it, the pattern just doesn't end up working on the body that you're making it for.
True.
So you kind of have to make like I say, the mock-up,
drawing,
have fittings, yes, doing fittings. And if I were to make custom pieces, like, yes, the person often they know what they want, but then working with their body to make sure that that is going to be a flattering piece for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
I'm just amazed by it all. I wish I had that talent or the the patience and desire to actually do something like that.
I have none of that.
But Lydia, you do so much more than designing. So talk to us about From Lydia with Love Atelier, and first of all, what that word actually means, because a lot of people don't really know.
Atelier. Atelier is French for workshop or studio, and traditionally it was used for like French fashion houses. That's the word that would be
came from
of that workshop. Yeah. So it's kind of an umbrella business for me because I do so much. I have a lot of Gemini energy in me, so I have so many interests that it's really hard to tame sometimes. But I've learned to just go with it, and I think that's really important in being a business owner is being adaptable and being able to have those multiple streams of income. So I do make made-to-measure garments. A program that I've developed in the past year is my Closet Cleanse program.
Yes. Okay. Tell us all about
it. I need that.
Closet Cleanse.
Closet Cleanse.
Okay.
So when I first got into like after fashion school, and that's what I specialized in making, was these garments that take so much time to create, and they are at a higher price point. So, and I've also learned so much about the fashion industry and how negative it can be, like the effects on our environment. So I thought, okay, well, instead of trying to make this garment at a really high price point and try and sell that to people, let's start from where we're at. Let's start with someone's own closet. And if we can really edit that down so that it feels like you're going shopping every day.
Come into mine, darling.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine yours.
Come spend a year with me.
I have far too many clothes, and they're all black. But they all have a sleeve.
Yes.
A sleeve. So I'm really intrigued by what you're talking about.
Yeah. So for me, it has been so far that there's been no client the same as another. Like every experience is different, and every person kind of has a different intention for wanting to have their closet cleansed. So for example, some people are just completely overwhelmed by the amount of things that they own. So
yes, I can imagine.
It's really common. It really is, especially in the culture that we're living in today, and there's like a new trend out every week.
Week?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Well, and clothes are much more disposable, I guess, now than they ever have been, right? Like you can get tops for $7 and you wear them a couple of times and then you throw them away. But which is, and you talked about the fact that it has such an impact on our environment now that it's too much.
But see, I don't.
No, and you don't.
No, but I'm just saying I have those tops too.
Yeah.
But I keep things like this that I could keep them forever because they're timeless and they're special. So I have a lot of those pieces too, and I don't want to get rid of them.
No, I like that you say timeless, because going into a closet cleanse with someone, I really like to get to know them first so I can get to know their style and their personal style. So like you say, you have a lot of things that are black. And I think you have a lot of statement pieces too, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So personal style is so different from person to person. So going into a closet cleanse with someone, it's really good to know their personal style and B, their lifestyle.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then working from there. So that makes any decisions that need to be made, like, oh, if you want to keep something, if you end up wanting to donate it, it makes those decisions a lot easier when you know yourself and your style.
See, one of the reasons I have so many clothes is because I attend so many different events.
Yes.
If I was a homebody and just not going far at all except for once or twice a year to a social event, that would make my life so much easier. But I'm on a talk show and I'm like you emceeing and we're out in the public and we're going to parties and we're doing something every day. A lot of the time it requires something more than just casual wear. So that's why my closet has such a collection.
Yeah. Well, and
My closet's up.
you love, and you enjoy wearing beautiful clothing.
I love clothing.
Yeah.
Is there something wrong with me for loving
No,
clothing? Because
not
to
at
me,
all.
Absolutely
it's
not.
art.
Not
For
at
me,
all.
it's art. I just
Well, and
love
it's
it.
expression of you too,
And your
right?
grandmother was like that?
Oh my gosh,
like
was
my,
she ever?
My husband's mother, like
Yeah.
she loved pretty things.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily like a whole lot of other things. I love beautiful dishes. I love beautiful clothing. I love beautiful bedding.
Oh,
You know, those are my loves.
Oh,
I have a
see,
friend and
interesting.
she always says, invest in your boots and your bed sheets.
Ooh.
Okay. See, now my grandmother used to say, so you can either travel to it, travel in it, wear it, or live in it.
Okay.
I like
That's
that one too.
Yeah. So and she said, like, decide where you want to spend your money, right?
Yeah.
Like whatever. So for me, it's experiences, right? Like I absolutely it's getting to do things with the people I love that matter so much to me. And then I have some special things that I buy for clothing and stuff like that. But really, it's that's where I spend the bulk of my money is getting to do things.
Right. And again, so how often would you do a closet cleanse? Do you have to book these clients? Because it would take some time, for sure. Like you have to book them weekly or monthly?
So I would book up to 3 clients a month. So then I have, I commit a full week to each client, and then the other week of the month that's committed to me and other responsibilities that I have in my studio, and just kind of being able to sustain that and just having a lower energy week.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
We're going to have to go to break fairly soon.
Okay.
But if you want to throw in a question, Verena, we can always pick up after the break.
Yeah, and I really want to talk about some of the projects that you have on the go. So we'll definitely talk about that after the break again. But
you can start.
yeah,
We
so
can start
talk
with
to us about some of the projects you have on the go right now.
Okay, so closet cleanses is one of my favorite things to do, like I said, because I love connecting one-on-one with people in that area. And so through doing closet cleanses, I actually started a subsidiary business called Secret Garden Boutique.
Ooh, I like your names you're
Okay.
choosing.
Yeah, thank you. I like the
Secret Garden
magical
Boutique.
names.
Yes.
So from there, when clients, if they end up purging a lot of clothes during their closet cleanses, a lot of times they feel like it's a waste of money and like it has been a bad decision. So I really try and find the best place for these pieces to go.
Okay.
So Secret Garden Boutique takes these higher end, really good quality condition and good fibers. I take in those clothes and resell them for my clients, either online at markets or just I know a lot of people, so I'll message people directly if like, oh, I think this is perfect for you.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of the times those pieces might go to like I donate a lot to women's shelters, homeless shelters, and like immigrant families who need clothing too.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. And I can't wait to talk more to this lovely young lady. I don't know how she gets it all done.
I don't either.
I don't
But
either.
there is more to come with Have a Chat. So, I guess we're going to have a couple more minutes.
Oh, well, one of the things actually that we you just touched on a little bit is upcycling clothing.
Yeah.
So talk to us about why that's and especially for your boutique, why is that so important?
It's so important, I think, because we were talking about earlier how there really are trends, like new trends every single week. So that is the production of new things all the time. And, our planet can't sustain this. And the people making those garments in the fast fashion industry realm, like chances are they're not really being taken care of. If you wonder why a shirt is $7, you kind of, you know, when you step back and think about it, like how much is that person getting paid to make that, let alone like the fabric costs. Okay, where was I here? Upcycling. Okay, so I think that upcycling is really the way of the future to make things from things that already exist.
Right.
So for example, this coat, it was actually it was a blanket at one point.
Yes.
And, you know, it's making something from something that already exists.
Can you believe that? That was a throw in her home. So talented and gifted. And I don't know how,
So
like I said again, I don't know how you do it all, but you're young and you're ambitious and you find the time to carve out for your beautiful interests that you have. So we're going to hear much more from Lydia Love right away. So don't go far. She has lots to talk about yet. Come back and join us for more Have a Chat. Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of Have a Chat. I'm your host for today's show, Judy Logier, joined by my lovely, wonderful co-host, Veronique Arsenault.
So happy to be here with you.
In our beautiful studio here in Miramichi with the Rogers staff. Always love being here on set.
Yes. Yep.
And we are having a lovely conversation all about the many things that Lydia Love does. And it's just beautiful, all of your accomplishments that you've had so far as a young lady. So Lydia, you often bring up the term personal style. So what does that mean to you and why is that so important?
I'm very passionate about personal style. So I think we hear a lot lately about the term your authentic self. And so much so, I feel like it's a little overused, but I don't care because I think it's just so important because it's what makes you you. Yeah. So it's like your different style from your different personal style. And I know you've both put something on and you're just like, wow, this is so me.
Yes, I see it in the store and I said, that's a Judy dress.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? Yep, absolutely. And that, for me, it was the shoes that I bought to go to that.
They're very neat shoes.
They absolutely, I was like, oh yeah.
Those are mine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, but when you're wearing these pieces, you just shine a little brighter. Am I right?
Love this.
Right?
You feel real
I
goodness.
know. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. I love
So
it.
if you take that, you know, that different level of energy when you're wearing something you feel really good in and you go out into the world in it, like you shine a little brighter.
You own it.
Yeah. And like that beautiful quote that you said at the beginning, you know what I mean? Can you imagine if every single day you showed up and you wore something that just makes you feel so good from the inside out, and everyone did that? Like what a change that would make every single day.
It would
like
project onto others.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that would be a nice circle to keep going.
I know.
That's good.
Well, and it's, you know, we all get in that rut sometimes, right? And we all,
Absolutely.
and we get in that rut where we wear the same thing every day.
COVID did that.
COVID did that. Absolutely. I got very comfortable. You know, you kind of wear the same thing, whether it be the same actual thing or the same style of thing every day.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody that's stuck a little bit?
I would say, I would gently encourage them to just ask themselves some questions. So like, first of all, who are you at your core? And what are things that light you up? So just to like gently explore, you know, maybe if you're in kind of like a rut and you want to get out of that, how do you think you're being perceived? And then how would you like to be perceived?
Okay.
And so a little exercise that I give my clients sometimes is I just ask them, okay, go on Pinterest and I just want you to, like, no expectation, just find things that you like. And just explore and just pin to a board. And after that, just like look at that and how does that make you feel?
I need a Lydia in my life. Just
I know.
to get like that.
I'm right here.
I'm almost there at this point at my age, but I'm knowing what I like and love. But like to have those ideas and just say, "Ooh, I like that." Then have you create that, or work with me to attain that.
And sometimes these pieces we already have, but they're just like hidden in our closets, you know,
True.
because there's so many other things in there.
Right. Now, let's talk about some of your highlights and events that you've been, any awards or anything exciting that's happened to you that stands out to this point in time.
Definitely my graduating collection was a really big accomplishment for me. I showed that at my NBCCD annual fashion show. That was in 2019. And in September of that year, I was actually able to bring that collection to Atlantic Fashion Week.
Oh,
neat.
And
exciting.
I just had all of my friends, and even my grandmother was one of my models. So that was really special.
Yes.
I also I made a dress out of toilet paper.
Do you remember that big competition? That was huge.
I think I do.
That was challenging.
That was for cashmere.
Yes,
that
of
was.
course.
That was very challenging.
So you had to make an outfit, whatever your beautiful mind came up with.
Yeah, we had a theme.
Okay.
Yeah. It was La Belle Époque.
Okay.
So it was like late 1800s, early 1900s.
Oh, wow.
Gosh.
That'd be tough.
I made a corset out of toilet paper. That definitely stands out.
How
for
the
sure.
heck could you do that and and make that into a corset that would stand up on the body?
So
How many layers of toilet paper would you?
It was lined with real fabric.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
lined, yes.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it did end up ripping, and they sent it back to me, and I did fix it, and it was a whole thing, and it was a lot of
Yes.
patience. But
I remember
it
seeing how
stands out.
beautiful it was, and your model looked so
you.
good in that.
Yeah, she did.
It was just fitted to her body, and it was short, right? It was two-piece, like a skirt, was it, with the upper being the corset?
Yeah, there was a skirt, and then there was like a little under top as well.
And pink ribbon all the way down the back. I remember that. It was outstanding.
Yeah, that was for breast cancer research
That was
too.
too. See how important breast cancer
Yeah,
is? So that was
absolutely.
in honor of that and awareness for that.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
Oh my gosh. I love it. It's so interesting what you can do with
is.
fashion though.
Well, you know me,
right?
I'm right in my element here.
Well, absolutely, and it's funny because I love statement pieces on other people. Like I love when Judy finds something and she just shines so bright in it, whereas I tend to wear black because I'm most comfortable. But I love seeing statement pieces on other people.
You have
You
a
look so
beautiful
good in black.
statement necklace there.
Thank you.
And black's you were becoming on Veronique.
Yeah, well, I'm happiest in it, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's you. That's
I
who
feel
you
most
are.
comfortable. Yeah, absolutely. So, what are some of the most rewarding aspects, though, of your career, and some of the most challenging?
Okay, I think we covered the most challenging.
The toilet paper dress.
Yeah. The most rewarding, I think, was right fresh out of graduating, and we had a piece in the window on Queen Street in Fredericton, and I had someone who was just really right in love with it, and she asked the gallery owner for my business card and like how to get connected with me. I don't even know if I had business cards at that point, and she wanted that dress to be her wedding dress.
Oh my goodness.
But we ended up making one very similar out of the same like daisy print lace. And that feels really rewarding because it was actually a two-piece, like a skirt and a top with pockets.
Of course.
And
That's the best thing you can do is put pockets in something.
yeah. I know, and just like the fact that it was two pieces, she could wear the top with something, and she could wear the skirt with something else, so it could have more wear than just like the one day.
And so rewarding because that was her dream dress.
Yeah, it was, and she still talks to me about it.
I love
and,
that.
yeah.
You're making other people's dreams come true.
That's right.
So what do you do outside of all this? What do you do for Lydia, your happy place or your travel or joys that you do? What do you like to do?
I love to move.
Move.
So
Oh, I hate
yeah,
to
I
move.
love.
Oh, God.
You never stop
Okay, I
moving.
don't like moving my house. I like to move my body.
I see what
Yeah.
you mean.
You never stop
I
moving.
thought you meant moving locations and
No,
homes.
I'm over that. I'm
Yes.
over that. I'm like looking for the dream home right now. But no, I love to dance. I love to do yoga.
Ooh.
I do freelance modeling.
Yes.
I love hanging out with my friends. Like I have a lot of friends that are really dear to me. I love camping. I love traveling. I would love to do that more.
You probably will. You probably need some
I
time now for
probably
yourself.
will.
You're so busy.
Yeah.
And you danced all of your life, like from a young girl up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I started dance lessons in like elementary school.
That's a nice creative thing to have.
Yeah.
She's very creative, obviously.
Absolutely.
You know?
So what do you dream about doing next? What are some of your aspirations? What's your career look like?
Okay. My dream is getting clearer. I would love to have my own boutique one day. I don't know where that would be.
My house.
Yes.
There you go, girl. You're all set.
All right, it's getting out there.
Yeah.
I would just love to. I actually did a pop up for Secret Garden at a beautiful little flower shop last week, and it just really inspired me how it went from a flower shop, and then the owner, she had a baby, and so she expanded in that way, and she made her business expand. So I would love to have a little boutique where I could, start out and I could have Secret Garden and I could have like consignment pieces. Maybe like to fit my lifestyle, maybe it has like a little workshop in there. And I would love for it to just, expand over time, that I could maybe even have like a little coffee shop in there, and I could give my clients little espressos and just have it be a little hub for coming in and trying on garments. And
What about pets? Would you consider pet friendly?
maybe,
It's hard when you have garments, but
Yeah.
People like to kind of bring their babies in when they're out for the walk and
Absolutely.
explore and have a coffee, but it's hard. That's a
Absolutely.
catchy thing to do.
I would love for it to be pet friendly, but
Yeah.
of course I'd have to think about the logistics.
Yes, of course. So who are some of the creative artists that you've looked up to and inspired you along the way? There must be so many.
Yeah, definitely. Alexander McQueen was definitely a huge inspiration, just like his level of tailoring and quality. And lately, I just discovered Linda Lundstrom.
Yes.
Do you know Linda?
Yes, I do, actually.
She's a Canadian designer and huge in the 80s and specialized in outerwear.
Yes.
And now she actually has a business with her 2 daughters. So I love the evolution of that too. Like that would be a dream of mine, like to, have that kind of business with like future family.
I discovered her in Banff, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some of her pieces, and I thought, this is really cool. And then I started reading up on her, as you said, with her daughters, her history, and how, her beginnings and all of that. And it's so interesting.
Okay.
And being a creative person, do you watch shows? Like sometimes, I'm not a TV girl. You like television.
I like it for the escape. I don't get to watch it very often. So when I do, it's as an escape for me.
I like documentaries, or I like certain shows. I'm not a TV person at all, but I do like to catch some of the e-talk because I love how they interact. It's all positive, right? It might not always be positive.
Yeah.
It might be some bad stories to tell, but for the most part, I enjoy what's happening around the world and in fashion. And I love to watch the anchors and what they're wearing. The men now are so daring and bold, and there's such diversity on the screen that I'm just embracing all their looks, hairstyles. Their personalities are so positive, and I love that. It picks me right up, and I love to see what's happening in the fashion world. Do you watch that kind of stuff on TV?
I haven't.
No?
No, not in a while. I don't really have TV.
Like runway things that inspire you, those shows, the catwalks and...
Oh, yeah. I'll tune in
Yeah.
a lot of the times. Like Instagram is like
Sure.
the ultimate place of
That's right.
inspiration for
Yep.
me nowadays. Like maybe even like there's too much inspiration coming all at once.
Catching up that way is easiest, for sure.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody though that's thinking about this, right? Who might want to pursue a career just like you? What advice would you give them?
I would give the advice to come from that authentic place and really make sure what you're doing aligns with your personal values and be adaptable. I think that's huge because like nowadays things just move so fast.
Yeah, they do.
So
for
to
sure.
be able to keep up with that. And I would really hope that a person wanting to pursue a career in fashion would really get an education on the reality of the fashion industry and the textile industry, and really hope that they would want to come at it with a sustainable approach.
Good advice. Good answer.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So, Lydia, how can people get in touch with you for your products and your services? You have so many things to offer. Where shall I begin? But in general, what you want to get out there to your customers?
I would say to follow me on Instagram. I'm from Lydia with Love.
Yes.
On Instagram, and then you can also find me at Secret Garden Boutique _ and that's where I'll have my consignment pieces.
Nice. So on the final segment of our show, we are at about a 2-minute mark, and I want you to talk about your beloved grandmother, because she is so close to her grandmother, and she's so much like her grandmother. Let's give a shout out to your grandmother, Doris Tozer, and what she means to you.
I just saw her
The
on
last
Saturday,
couple of minutes,
actually.
she's a lovely lady, and she's inspired you for sure.
Oh, she's crying right now, I bet. She'd be so emotional.
And proud.
Yeah. Yeah, she was definitely the day one person. She would always come over, and she tells me this all the time. Like, she would come over and I'd be like, Nanny, do you want to play toys? And that turned into likely, oh, do you want to play dress up? And
Yes.
yeah, she was always like that, very stylish.
But even so,
Role
like you're a
model.
young lady, and she's a senior, as my mom is, but she's so elegant and
She's
active,
beautiful.
and yet you bond like as if you were the same age. So you have a lot in common. Like you spend really good quality time. Not everybody has that relationship. They do often, you know, with their mom and grandmom have a loving one, but you have especially when you say a special connection to her,
Yeah.
the same interests.
Yeah, and I think that really was always fashion. Like I would be watching, like I say, City Line with her, and then we would always go shopping together, and I actually did a closet cleanse with her recently. And that was really fun, and that was a really, fun way to connect with her.
And you
too.
spend time watching shows with her or just sitting having tea
yeah.
with her. And
Yeah.
I think that I promote everybody to do that. Spend
Oh, yeah,
time.
absolutely.
Life's so fleeting, right?
Yeah, and I had a special relationship with my grandmother as well, and I know that your boys have such a special relationship with their grandfather, with your father.
Do, and
Yeah.
with my grandmother too.
Yeah,
Like they
absolutely.
cherish them, so they're special people in our lives.
Yeah.
And I just think you did a lovely job today talking about everything that I knew a lot about, but not nearly as much as you offered. Right, Veronique?
I know it's wonderful, and to know that you're here and join us.
And you'll be here for a while. But she might start to travel pretty soon. So if you want to reach her, get in
Yeah.
touch with her soon.
Yes.
And I might let you into my closet one day.
Oh my goodness.
But we'd be there with a bottle of wine for a good day or so at least.
At least.
Going through everything.
At least.
So we want to wish you viewers a beautiful week ahead. Thank you to Lydia for being with us today, and Veronique, of course, for being with me as co-host, and she'll be co-hosting in the near future. We just do turnabout. Enjoy your week, stay safe, and as she said earlier, be kind, stay happy. Thank you.